I'm sure pretty much everybody watching these videos has run into this problem at one time or another. But basically, and this happened while I was at work, not while I was skating. So I had to take care of it a little bit differently than I normally would have. But I blew out a button on my pants, and the zipper on these pants isn't really good. So if I don't have, even when I do have the button buttoned, the pants still unzip, and it's awkward. So to not have the button there and then the pants unzip as well is it's a little sketchy. So I had to think of a way to get this fastened shut. And I thought back to when this happened one time while I was skating and what I did then. And I went through all kinds of like weird. I made suspenders with shoelaces. I tried a shoelace belt. There were a couple other just like really, really horrible fixes that I tried before I figured out that I had exactly what I needed to fix my pants with me at all times, pretty much, because it's something that everybody keeps in their car. Now, this time I was at work, so I had a little bit, better materials to work with. Basically, I just had a washer, a bolt, and a nut. And now the nut doesn't have Loctite on it, but basically what I did is there wasn't a hole here before. I poked a hole there. So this hole is meant to fit this bolt. And I just simply slipped it through the button loop there. I dropped my nut. Don't laugh at that. That's not funny. Throw the washer on. Tighten down the nut. And then it's pretty much, it's solid. It's not going anywhere. But you probably don't have this stuff in your car. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I don't know. I'm just saying there's probably a really good chance that you've got, say, a piece of hardware and a bearing, right? Now, this isn't going to work exactly right with these pants, but because the hole's too big. When you cut the hole, you're going to have to be careful. I believe if you have, like, if you've got, like, this style of button, where it's, like, riveted in, and that breaks, that the hardware works, because I'm pretty sure that's similar to what I was wearing the first time I had to do this. But basically, it goes the same way. You go through the hole in the back with your hardware, and then through the button loop, and then you use your bearing as a washer, and then you tighten down the nut on the end. Now, using the original stuff here that I had, the nut button, or the nut, bolt, and washer. If you had a nut with some Loctite on it, you could lock it down really hard. 2 washers would really sandwich it in there good. But really, this is all you need is the hardware and the bearing. That's it. You do have to be really careful about the size of the hole, because when you look at the head of that hardware, if you poke it too big, that's going to slide right through there, especially because it's tapered. You see how it's got this weird slanted shoulder there, so that it digs into the wood a little bit. You'll notice this doesn't have that, because it's supposed to sit flush up against a piece of metal or wood or whatever. Keep that in mind when you're cutting the hole. It might not work, but it worked for me when I needed it, so hopefully it'll work for you when you need it as well. I'm not promising anything, but, And the really cool thing about using the hardware, it's always going to be fine threaded bolts, and the nuts are always going to have Loctite. That makes it pretty much so that, see, when I'm wearing the one that I wear to work now, because my button's broken and I can't find it, this nut can come loose just randomly. Just with every day wearing it, it can come loose. There's no way that I can tighten it down enough that it's not going to come loose, because it doesn't have any Loctite. Now, I could get a nut with some Loctite, but I just find that it's easier for me to tighten it up when I take a piss. Zip up your pants, you tighten this up real tight like, and then by the next time you gotta take a piss, it's not falling off yet. And if it does, believe me, I got a whole stack of these things I could use. So that's your tip of the day. And I realize that you guys are probably seeing the word fuck all up on your screen here, and it's probably piquing your curiosity slightly. So it does say fuck a limousine. I'd rather ride Caprices. That's a line from Ritz from a Yelawolf song. Most of you have probably heard it because you do skateboard, right? That's why you're watching my videos. And I assume you're supporting Yelawolf. I mean, he's a skateboarder, right? So you gotta support him automatically, right? That's actually how I found the dude. Maybe you're not into him, but I like the dude, personally. I've seen him live twice. It's pretty awesome. I'm actually bringing one of his live show antics to my everyday skate life, and I actually do want this to take off because I think it's funny as hell. If you've ever seen him live, he'll twist the cap off of a bottle of water like he's about to drink it, and then he just throws it out over the crowd, just like real aggressively. And if you're sitting up close enough that the water hits you, you're in like the massive shoulder to shoulder pit of people and the hot lights and just people jumping around. It gets pretty hot, so when that water hits you, it's like heaven. But the first time he did it, I was just kind of getting into the dude, and I saw him live, and he had just told us a story about the girl from the song Love Is Not Enough, because it was right after that album came out. Takes a drink and throws it out all over us, and a drop hit me like right there, and I'm like, oh god, I'm gonna get Yelawolf's herpes now. I don't know that the dude has herpes, but that was the first thing that went into my mind. Like, it freaked me out a little bit. But anyways, it's a cool dude, and I'm hoping to bring that to my everyday skate life. I do that when it's way too hot outside. I'll just grab a bottle of water and sling it all over my friends, and then I go, he's got Yelawolf'd, bitch!